I did want to, while I'm currently in the mood, discuss something that I found really interesting and helpful. Thank you, ChatGPT. Because as I get older, I'm sure you can relate. Time feels like it just runs away from us. There's so much we need to do. I'm always juggling a million things at once. I feel like I'm not doing any of them properly. And I hate that. I'm a perfectionist. I'm also trying not to be a perfectionist, but old habits die hard. We're working on it. I have a really big issue with just trying to get everything done. Like, I have so much guilt around not doing everything that I need to be doing to the best of my ability. There's just so many things I need to do all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. And then, yeah, I feel guilty that I'm not doing one thing, I should be doing something else. Anyway, I did a huge brain dump to ChatGPT. I really find it helpful. I gave it all information about me, my personality. It was really good advice, and I want to share it in case it helps anyone else, particularly with ADHD, because I feel like this is something that kind of pertains to us in particular because we hyperfixate on things. Because I never used to have the energy to do anything when I wasn't medicated. Like, even if I wanted to do something, I couldn't do it, and I can't explain that to you unless you've been there yourself, so I'm not going to go into that. But now that I am medicated, there is so much that I want to do and am able to do. I'm capable of doing it now. And so I've just loaded my plate up. It's like I was starving and I had an empty plate, and now I've loaded it all up and I'm gorging myself on all these different things that I can do now. Like, for example, one of them is YouTube. Like, I want to get deep into YouTube and not just boring videos with that backdrop, creative, interesting, different, I don't know, just photography stuff, because I love that and I've forgotten how much I loved it until very recently. But then when I spend too much time doing that, I feel guilty because I should be doing that, business stuff. This is what ChatGPT said, because I don't do well with schedules. This is what ChatGPT said to me at an earlier point, which was so well said. It's something like, I need the illusion of, I actually think I saved it. Your ADHD means routine can't feel like a trap. It has to feel like a launch pad. Predictable enough to reduce friction, but open enough to feel like you're choosing it. So basically you said to GPT, I have so many buckets, I have so many things that I need to do. I don't know how to organize my time. I don't know how to prioritize things. I don't know how to get into focus because I feel guilty that I only get a certain window during each day of deep focus, and it's usually in the middle of the day. It's not in the morning, even though I wake up really early. It's not at night because I am a night person, but I just don't want to be working late at night. So I'm just trying to balance all these things. Step 1, pick a primary identity for the week. Example, this week I'm in UPF launch mode, or this week I am in creative YouTube mode, or this week I am in Sunsmock ad mode. This week I am in social media content creation mode. Because if you have ADHD, you get it. You hyperfixate on things and you do them really, really, really well when you're in that zone. But the problem is we don't context switch easily, and we need to stay focused on what we're doing. And when we try to do what I'm doing, a million different things at once, we're not doing any of them well because our brain doesn't like transitions. And so if you're trying to give it multiple transitions, you're just not doing anything effectively. This does two things. It gives your brain permission to obsess, I'm going to say hyperfixate more so. It filters decisions automatically, because that's another thing. It's the decision making that gets tiresome. Step 2, each day gets one deep block, not many. I love this. It kind of relieves some of the guilt. You don't need a perfect schedule. You need one appointment with yourself. Rules of the deep block: 90 minutes to 3 hours. It can be longer, but as with anything, e.g. exercise, the smaller you set the goal, the less scary it is to try to achieve, and the more likely you're actually going to exceed the goal. If you say, I'm going to do an hour of exercise every day, let's be real. I mean, you might do it, but I'm not. If you say, I'm going to do 5 minutes of exercise, you're much more likely to do that. And because you're already there, you're likely to do 30 minutes maybe, or not. Who knows, but at least you did 5 minutes. Only one identity allowed. So if you're in YouTube mode, do not try and then switch to launching a new brand. Those come at different times. You plan them accordingly. No admin, no replies, no hopping. This is in that period. So that's what I'll need to say to Reese. I'm entering my focus block. If you have any questions, please just jot them down and I'll get to them afterwards, because again, my brain doesn't like when he asks me something, when my brain isn't in that zone, you're talking to a brick wall. I have no idea what you just said. Okay, phone away or filming only. That's a really important one. I do have do not disturb on my phone 24/7. Well, during work hours, and then I've got no badges for the rest of the day. If you do one deep block a day, you're winning. Everything else is a bonus. If the block doesn't happen until 1 p.m, so be it. Stop trying to move your circadian rhythm. That's also another one, because I feel really guilty that I only get deep into my work later on in the day, but it's just the way that my brain works, so I've just got to accept it rather than feeling guilty about it. Step 3, define the allowed 40% explicitly. So earlier on in the conversation, it said like your identity for that week or whatever is going to be 60% of what you do and how you spend your time. And then I asked, well, how does that look day to day? Like how do I organize the 40% then? And then it said, this is the piece that most systems miss. I've got to love the way that ChatGPT writes. This is the bit that most people don't get, but you're thinking like the 1%. Make a mental list of what counts as maintenance. Answering messages, approving things, shipping logistics questions, minor posting, light analytics. When you do these things, you do not say, I didn't work today, because I feel guilty that I'm not doing those things enough, even though that's what Reese focuses on, all of that back end stuff, because that's how his time is best spent, as opposed to me. I'm not efficient at that stuff and he is. Instead of saying that, I say, that was maintenance. Maintenance does not grow things, it keeps them alive. So important, because I think I feel guilt around the fact that I'm not doing the boring stuff that is technically maintenance enough, because that's in my mind what grows the business. But in reality, what I do, all of the stuff that I do is stuff that Reese would not want to do. All of the content creation, all of the filming, all of the creative stuff, all of the social media posting, all of the stuff that keeps the engine, like, it's like the fuel for the car, or it is the car. I don't know which one is which in that analogy, but like if I stopped posting on all of my social medias and so that it stopped creating all the content for our brands and stuff, I think it is the fuel then, because a car can't move without fuel. The businesses are the car, Reese is the driving, he's a smart one that's following the road rules, and I'm the fuel that keeps it going. Oh, stunning. And by the way, he agrees with this. Like, he knows that my strengths are what I do. I think I feel guilty because I enjoy doing it. It's like, I shouldn't enjoy what I'm doing for work. Like that seems wrong. So we're all on the same page. I'm just punishing myself for some reason. This reframes guilt into clarity. Step 4, daily close down ritual. 5 minutes, not a journaling saga. Yeah, I don't like journaling. At the end of the day, answer 3 questions only. 1, did I do a deep block today? 2, what identity was it for? Like social media, brand. 3, what did I move forward, even slightly? No reflection beyond that, no self-therapy session. This trains your brain to notice progress instead of scanning for failure. Step 5, when guilt hits, ask the correct question. The guilt voice says, I should be doing something else. Replace it with, is what I'm doing aligned with this week's identity? If yes, guilt is noise. If no, you gently course correct. No drama. How the 40% fits in practically. Here's a realistic day for you, not an aspirational one. Morning, ramp up, learning videos. As in like watching. I watch a lot of educational stuff on YouTube in the mornings. Messages, approvals, midday to afternoon, deep block in primary identity, late afternoon admin, replies, posting, loose ends, evening, optional, light, creative, or rest. The quiet reframe that matters most. Before meds, you couldn't choose because execution failed. Now you can execute, but choosing feels scary because it means not choosing something else. Now that I can execute, because before I couldn't, let me start from the start. Before meds, you couldn't choose because execution failed. Executive dysfunction, I just couldn't get anything done. Now that I don't have that issue anymore and I can get things done, I've got to choose between the things I want to do. And by choosing one, I feel guilty for not choosing the other. But that discomfort is the cost of focus. So in order to focus on one thing, I've got to deal with the discomfort of not choosing another thing. Because eventually, look, I'm gonna choose that thing that I neglected the next week. Everything gets a turn. I prioritize it according to what is relevant, what is necessary at that point in time. Like recently, it was all UPF, like smashing it out. Then that went into a period where everything was being made, nothing was really happening. So I was moving on to, I think it was more YouTube stuff. I smashed out YouTube videos for like a week. Then I moved on from that. Then I went into photography mode for UPF, like taking photos, getting my photography filming set up, what? Yeah, and so on and so forth. A crucial reframe you need to practice. Instead of asking, am I doing enough boring work to deserve this? Ask, am I contributing in a way that matches my strengths and grows what we're building? If the answer is yes, guilt has no jurisdiction. Practical guilt circuit breaker. When guilt shows up, don't argue with it emotionally. That never works. Instead, run this quick logic check. Did I choose this role openly? Did he choose this role freely? Are we both benefiting from the outcome? Now, this was around the guilt around me doing stuff that I enjoy and Reese doing the stuff that I don't enjoy. But because I don't enjoy it, doesn't mean that he doesn't get enjoyment out of it, because he likes problem solving and fixing things and analytics and that kind of thing. He's really good like that, like finding efficiencies and that kind of thing. Whereas and he hates or stuff that I love, as I said earlier, like filming and content creation. He would rather not do that at all. So I got to remember, did I choose this role openly? Did he choose this role openly? Yes and yes. Are we both benefiting from the outcome? Yes. If yes to all three, guilt is noise, not signal, and then redirect it every time. This is not about eliminating guilt, it's about not obeying it. Oh, my voice is breaking. One last thing said plainly. You are allowed to build a life where your work feels meaningful, your days feel enjoyable, your partner supports you, and you don't have to atone for any of it. It doesn't make you selfish, it makes you aligned. Guilt will still visit. It always does with conscientious people, but you don't have to give it the keys. I don't know if that is helpful to absolutely anyone. But when I talk about this stuff, it generally surprises me how many people are also struggling with it. The whole guilt thing is something that I really need to work on with a professional, all in due time. I hope that was interesting. It just works so well for my brain. That is exactly what I'm kind of already doing, but I just need to get rid of the guilt. It's just about reframing everything that I'm already doing, because what I'm already doing is what has been working. I just need to accept it and embrace it and live life and live love, love life, live love. Bye.